Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FTR here for round 9, the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. And this is a highly crucial episode, crucial part of the championship actually. We've got one more round after this, and for this round basically I need to beat Evo to stand a amazing chance at winning, or at least a better chance at winning the title. As you see there, getting blocked on our medium qualifying run, or medium tyre qualifying run by one of the Red Bulls there. Our banker time put us in what is now P7. We've got at the end of the session here, we're going to try and better our time, get somewhere near the front, but at this point going into this race, I believe after the poor result in Britain, we are 13 points behind Evo in the championship. We can't really afford to lose any ground to him, so my goal for this race is to finish ahead of him. And I'd say I had pretty good pace this race, going through here, going up by nearly just over 2.5 tenths through the first sector split, gaining quite a bit of time through the hotter part of the track for the tyres. It's awful, this track, for tyre temperatures. The softs really do overheat quite quickly. Going into the second sector split, we're not purple, but we're up by 3.5 tenths. We're currently sat in P7, this is where we kind of don't want to be, that is the midfield at this point. As we go through the final corner, we just accelerate up through the gears, we get a pretty decent exit, keep to the right hand side to activate the DRS as early as possible, and just fly towards the line. I believe it's going to be around a 7/10 improvement, and it puts us actually P2 provisionally. I'm going to get nowhere near pole. DW is far too quick to see there, we actually end up in P3. Wax had amazing pace this race, but crucially we qualified ahead of Evo, and that gave me a lot of confidence going into this race. I am not as fast as Evo. The reason that I've been able to fight is because I've been relatively consistent, ignoring a couple of races. But at least over Britain, I sort of lost that consistency, so I'm going to try and pick myself up this race. We're doing a one-stop, soft to hards, overfueling the car because this track is quite heavy on the old fuel wear. We're getting ready for lights, so we've got 4 lights now, we've got 5 lights, and it's lights out and away we go. A really long hold there. Wax gets an absolutely fantastic launch, I get a pretty decent one, but Evo probably uses some overtake there to get up the inside. Even on the dirty part of the track he's still able to get through, and we've already dropped a position to Evo, but it's not too bad. Currently we're only losing 3 points to him. DW goes massively wide, and that opens the door up for us to go to the inside. He falls back behind us into P4, Wax goes up into P1, and that was a pretty manic first lap. See DW coming in behind us here. I decided not to fight this as much as I want to, mainly because he sort of like gave me a little friendly nudge out of the way, but also I'm hoping he can pull me along and fight with Evo. That's sort of like my game plan here. I don't want to take unnecessary risks. Since he cut onto that 4, DW is caught up to the back of Evo. He's actually going to give a move in a pretty unconventional, risky spot, going up the inside here into the fast right-hander, and he unfortunately doesn't get the move done. I believe there was a little bit of contact between them. As you see coming through this next right-hander here, Wax has gone very slow, and they've caught up to the back of him massively. I've understood why. DW is spun, and he's out of this race. That brought us up into position 3, and now Evo's right on the back of Wax. We sort of we found our rhythm a little bit here, just trying to stay with these guys, conserve ERS. My game plan for this was, if need be, wait until the end of the race to the very last lap to try and overtake Evo, because I don't want to be battling, wasting ERS. The whole point of staying behind is to save it really, because this track there's only really one good overtaking opportunity, that is down into turn 1. See Evo having a little look at Wax, but nothing does of it. We saw our personal best lap time of 13.465, and now it's just all about sticking with Evo. See here, I'm using a bit of overtake here because I see a slight opportunity, then I back off. Probably a mistake here, because as Evo goes for a move up the inside of Wax, he forces him wide. If I'd have been a bit closer, I could have maybe snuck up the inside of both of them there and left them two to battle. A bit like the situation in Mexico a couple of rounds ago. As you can see, Evo made it through, and now our main goal is to get past Wax as quickly as possible. We're on lap 7. Wax is actually fighting it back here in that unconventional overtaking spot, and he does actually get up the inside, but then he loses it, gets tagged by, or gets caught up on the back of Evo's car. We narrowly avoid that. That was rather too close for comfort. And then on lap 11, Kyle MUFC retires, and that brings out a safety car. So we're going to instantly come in at the end of this lap. I believe we're going to come in at the end of next lap. Can't quite remember when my pit strategy was, but Evo's obviously going to be coming. I'm going to be coming in as well. It's the sane thing to do. So hopefully we can actually get a good stop here. We can get out in front of Evo. Unfortunately, the AlphaTauri boys don't give us a good stop, and we get held quite a bit. But that's not going to affect our position too much. We're still going to rejoin in second place and behind Evo. And at this point, I was thinking we're faster than him. And I was, to a large degree, especially now. We're getting ready for the restart. Our tyres are absolutely freezing. It's so difficult to warm up the tyres on this year's game, no matter how much weaving around you do. And as you can see, get ready for the restart. Just listen to the engine noise. I'll shut up for a minute. So as you can see, if you heard it, I hope you did, but our engine actually cut out a little bit due to, I think, either being too close to the safety car coming in. That could be the issue. We've lost quite a bit of time here, and cutting on to lap 17 now. This is, well, how else am I supposed to describe it?
Hello there. Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move.
Yep, that did just happen. That's probably one of my most embarrassing mistakes out of it. Yeah, what can I say? I'm still pissed off about it now, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later after that happened. I ruined Wax's race as well. Luckily we didn't get any damage. I'd say that's the only saving grace, is we lose the back end of the car coming out of the final corner. And as you can see here, lap 20, we have another Vettel moment. So we spin the car again, and our tyres are pretty cooked at this point. So at the end of this lap I decided to come in for a set of medium compound tyres, but I've got no words. I was sat here thinking at this point I've gifted Evo the championship, and I was actually very close to quitting out of this race. As you see, I was very pissed off and upset with myself over this, but we're not going to. We're going to continue to fight on. Maybe we can salvage something, maybe Evo makes a mistake. It's very uncharacteristic, but we've just got to hope, really. I've got to say though, the 5-second penalty I'd say is pretty unfair, because my car should have ghosted when Wax hit it, so we're going to have to serve that penalty. And there was a week-long discussion between myself, the other steward, and a few other people that run FTR about the penalty, because I wanted it removed, or at least compensated for the time, because it's an unfair penalty. But then, no spoilers, that would have had a different impact for the end of the race, so I'm just going to let you be judge of that in the comments, but let's come back to that at the end of the race. You see here, we've come to the pits, we've overtaken Dodger, who's pitted again. These mediums will easily run to the end. You see Evo's, he's nearly a lap ahead of us at this point. Coming over to set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, try and get an extra point. We're currently in 8th place. We do a 1:11.8, so that shows we have the pace. We can easily run with Evo, but unfortunately nothing's going to save us at this point. We're far too far behind. There's yellow flag in sector 3, so at this point I was hoping please be a safety car. FTR AVFC has retired, and a late safety car is called because he's on the exit of the corner, and this is perfect for me. I'm in the perfect position to dive into the pits, put on a fresh set of soft compound tyres, which I specifically saved in the event that this could happen. Now the softs will make it to the end once the safety car comes in. They're not going to be great, especially with the overheating problem. But we've just got to hope now. Wax has got the same idea. He's coming to the pits to put on a set of soft compound tyres, I believe. We're going to make sure we hit the mark. But yeah, this safety car has been a massive saving grace for us. It's still going to be one hell of a task to win this race. We've still got to make up 7 positions, although they're saying that Runner Season does actually have a drive-through penalty. Don't know what that's for. Could be something to do with the safety car coming out. So he's going to have to serve that once the safety car ends, so that's going to be a free position for us. As you can see, getting ready for the restart, there's actually some debris flying, and there's a massive kerfuffle. I believe this was caused by Runner Season, actually. He overtook Wax and then Watson, I think, and then we go around the outside of him, and then he goes back on the inside of us. I think he pitted under safety car too, and then we've lost so much time. At least once we get up to speed, we've lost 3 seconds to Bastinator, all through the fault of Runner Season being just not that intelligent under safety car. But anyway, we're going to forget about that. We've got 7 laps left to go in this race, 6 moving across the line. We're in P6, we're setting a move on Bastinator here, going up the inside into turn 1. Late on the brakes. I'm pretty good into turn 1 in terms of braking, not too much on steering, but we get the position up into P5. Evo's still winning this race, but he does have a 3-second time penalty looming from the previous race in Britain, causing an incident with Argent Samra. So I'm hoping at this point that Websy, who is currently residing in P2, as we overtake Wax, go right around the outside into turn 1. This is to be a happy hunting ground for us, that Websy can actually get in front, and Wax actually spins. I think he may have dropped on that curb. That inside curb is pretty lethal. As you see, coming to the end of the race, we're going to get P2 from Origin's pen because he has a 3-second time penalty. But unfortunately, we're not going to pick up the win. Evo was just too far ahead of Websy to not make the 3-second penalty actually matter, after he kicked up a bit of a fuss about it in Britain. But here is the thing. That 5-second penalty that I lost for that collision with Wax, if I had got that removed and the 3-second penalty for Evo was applied, I would actually win that race. So I get, well, obviously, like, I want to win that race just from my own championship perspective, but I totally get why it wasn't given. As you can see here, the driver's standings, we are now 26 points behind Evo, freezing the championship. We've pretty much secured P2, but we've just got to hope that a miracle happens in Russia. And Russia is not a strong track for me, especially on this year's game. As you can see, the constructors is pretty much all tied off at this point. Close battles throughout the midfield, but let's just hope that round 10, the final round, is a good round. If you're excited for round 10, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see the final round and plenty more F1 2020 videos, and I'll see you all very soon.